Hello boxing fans, right now I'm just going to talk to you about one of the big fights that's happening at the Echo Arena this week, and it is Shane McPhilbin versus John Lewis Dickinson. Okay, firstly, I'm going to put this out, this is a very hard fight to predict because both have weaknesses, and that just happens to be what the other boxer is best at. So this could go two totally different ways in this fight, literally could go two ways depending on what game plan is followed, who puts their game plan on the other person. And at the end, who's got the better set of attributes over the other person, basically. So starting with the two boxers, firstly looking at Shane McPhilbin, his 11 fight career, 8 wins, 5 of those by way of knockout, 3 defeats, none of which are by way of knockout. And his opponent Dickinson is 13 fight career, 11 wins, only 3 by way of knockout to 2 defeats, both by way of knockout. Looking through the advantages of these guys, and like I said, both of them have pros and the other guys have weaknesses, and they just happen to be corresponding. It's a pattern. So the power is definitely with Shane McPhilbin. He is a former heavyweight. He's now a cruiserweight. He's made the transition very well. He's got the power. He had it at heavyweight, and now that he's fighting people who are smaller, who are draining themselves sometimes to make this weight, then he still has the heavyweight power, and he's got it in this fight. He's going to be going in there, he's going to throw huge bombs, and he's going to really try and make an effect on his opponent. Looking at Dickinson, he is not a huge puncher at all, like his record suggests. He got a few knockouts in prize fight, but I think that was 2. Before that, he only had 1, and since then, I don't think he's had any. Or he might have had 1. He might have had 1. I'll put that one there. He might have had 1 just in case. He has changed his game a bit. He was able to, be dragged into the wrong fight, and since then he's tried to focus on his boxing ability, put the punches in there when he needs to, but really he's not looking to get his opponents out there, just trying to win the fight, win each round, and that's the way to go forward for someone who is not a huge puncher. Looking at the speed, and I think that is with Dickinson, you see, he is the career cruiserweight, he will make weight more easily, and I think basically all that is going to focus on him having a huge speed advantage over his opponent. Shane, he isn't fast, I'm not going to lie, he's not fast, but the shots that he throws, if they land, they do count. Just realise that, they count a lot, because they have an effect, they have a huge effect. I can't stress that enough. If you've not seen Shane McPhilbin fight, watch him fight his last few fights. He's not pretty, he's not the smartest guy in the bunch, and that's not no disrespect to the guy, but what he does is it's very effective. It's very effective at domestic level, and that's going to be the biggest worry for this fight for me. The biggest worry for Dickinson is that what he does is very effective, and what Dickinson doesn't do very well is what he does very well. That's the problem. Looking at the boxing ability, and this is also with Dickinson, he does have a clear advantage in this part. In fact, this is his biggest advantage going. Look, like I said at Shane, he's not a very good boxer. I'm sorry, he is not. If you don't agree with me, don't agree with me. But my opinion is, he is not a very good boxer. But what he doesn't have in boxing ability, he makes up for with his great power. That's what I'm going to point out again. You see, I don't think he would have the amount of success he has had right now in his career if he didn't have that power. You see, like I said, he was outboxed by Sprotton at heavyweight in prize fighter. Lost the 3 rounds. He lost every single round to Leon Williams before he sensationally won via knockout in the final round. And he was outboxed by large parts by Enzo Macrinelli. But there's a pattern here, you see. Every single one of those guys, he also troubled with his power. Every single one of them, he troubled with his power. Now you look at Dickinson, and he's a very good boxer, okay? He's had to change his game, like I said, because he's not a big puncher. He cannot go in there trying to bomb people out, because most of the time it will not happen, unlike his opponent, right? He needs to box very smartly in this fight if he's going to win this fight, and that's something he could do. He could do it, but then that takes me to the next one, and that is the chin. Who's got the better chin? And it's obviously McPhilbin. You see, he can take a punch. We've seen that. He's never been stopped. He's lost like 3 times, but he's never been stopped. Another thing is that when he does take a shot, even if he's hurt, like I think Enzo Maccarinelli hurt him, he came back from it and he was still competitive and very dangerous in the fight. I'm getting belled up here. On the other hand, Dickinson, yeah, he cannot take a shot. We know this, He won prize fighter and then he lost 2 on the bounce afterwards, basically from taking too many shots that he didn't have to take. One being stopped due to the swelling around one of his eyes, and the other one, he had a broken jaw. So the guy, it's easy to land shots on this guy. Oh, it's not easy. It's possible to land shots on this guy, and a bigger puncher such as McPhilbin could really take advantage of that. And it's not something you want to be. I've just dropped my phone, and it's not something you want to be letting him do. So, just before I do my official prediction, this is basically speed and boxing ability without a chin versus power and brute force. Now, usually I would say if Dickinson had a chin, this should be his fight to win 9 times out of 10. However, because he does not have a chin, right, he can fight the wrong fight. He gets dragged into the wrong fight, and at some point in this fight, he will be having to fight toe-to-toe with a huge puncher like Shane McPhilbin. He's going to have to, at some point, fight toe-to-toe, and because of that, I see Shane McPhilbin winning this fight by knockout.